I'm Angie Liu, the Executive Director of the Asian Community Development Corporation. Thank you for joining me on such a brisk, cold November day. I know people have been standing around waiting, so I appreciate that. You're all here to help us celebrate the ribbon cutting of 88 Hudson Street behind me. And this is the second and final phase of the Parcel 24 project that completes the rebuilding of this parcel of part of Hudson Street into a vibrant community once again, where working families and immigrants seeking a better life can find a place to call home. 2 years ago, many of you stood with us on this park again to celebrate the opening of 66 Hudson, which is right behind you. That's 95 affordable apartments, a part of this mixed income development. Now we are adding 51 affordable condos to Chinatown so that more families can establish their roots here without worrying about rising rent or the threat of eviction. 6 months ago, we received many applications from all over the greater Boston area. Just imagine that. Families with dreams of owning their own homes in a convenient, centrally located neighborhood, to be able to walk to work, for their children to walk to school and a tea, and live next to this park. Because of the significant public investment from the state and the city, we are able to sell these homes for around $250,000 so that families on modest incomes can have a shot at the American dream of home ownership. 15 years ago, this site was walled off and occupied by the Massachusetts Turnpike on-ramp. The Big Dig was entering in its final phase, and the Turnpike Authority planned to sell the site, among others, to help pay for the Big Dig. At that time, people began to talk about reclaiming this land for Chinatown, where many families had been displaced in the 1950s and 60s. It was just an idea, just a dream in 2002, but so many people and organizations came together and worked tirelessly for 2 years to campaign for this dream. So 88 Hudson and 66 Hudson happened because of all of you. Chinatown Residents Association, Chinese Consolidated Benevolent Association, Chinese Economic Development Council, Chinese Progressive Association, and many others. I want to take a moment now to remember Olivia Wycheck, a former Hudson Street resident from the Syrian community who played an active role in the campaign for Parcel 24. She sadly passed away on November 19th after many years of activism in her involvement in Hudson Street, in the Syrian community, in her church, and in the city of Boston. I now am going to introduce Manli Chen, one of the buyers who will be moving into one of the 2-bedroom condos here with her husband and son. She currently lives in an affordable apartment just right there. Manli?
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Manli Chen. Sorry. My name is Manli Chen. I will be the new homeowner at 88 Hudson. I moved to the United States 8 years ago with my family. We first lived in Quincy, where we have a family, but we have to move 5 times because the landlord decided to sell the house, take back the apartment, or else the apartment have a poor living condition. 2 years ago, we won the lottery from an affordable apartment at 6600 Hudson. My husband and my son, and I all work in Boston, so I am so happy to live close to where we work. I am so excited to become the homeowner for the first time in my life. Thank you, ACDC, Mayor Walsh, and everyone for this life-changing opportunity. Have a nice day.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Manli. Now I have the honor to introduce the one and only, the Honorable Mayor Martin J. Walsh.
Thank you. Thank you, Angie, and thank you, Manly. That was great, and I'm excited for you, so congratulations. I want to thank everyone that's here today as well, part of this great day. I want to thank Senator Boncori, who's working so hard on housing issues for us at the state. He's the chairman of the Housing Committee, but more importantly, he's working towards making sure as the bond bill moves forward through the legislature that we're able to get some more buildings and affordable housing throughout the Commonwealth, so thank you for that. I want to thank Crystal as well for your great work, and Quincy and Roger, and our new city council, Eddie Flynn. Thank you, Councilor Flynn, for being here with us as well, and the great work you do. Angie, I want to thank you as well for all your great work, and there's a lot of people here. I would introduce all of the city and state officials who have helped with affordable housing, but they're over there staying nice and warm, so I don't want to interrupt them all. So thank you very much for all your great help for the work you do. I want to thank everyone who's involved in this project. This is exciting. I was part of the groundbreaking across the street. I was part of the ribbon cutting across the street. I was part of the groundbreaking here. I want to thank the construction folks, NEI, and the construction workers that were here today that built this building. So let's give them a round of applause because they did a really nice job. It's a great celebration of new housing in Chinatown. Hudson Street especially has gone through a revitalization. I was asked some questions by the press earlier about this particular project, and I said this street here used to house a lot of families on it. And then through change, through the highway and other reasons, houses were ripped down and buildings changed. And today we're bringing this neighborhood back to having a neighborhood with families on it again. So I want to say thank you. This parcel sat vacant for a long time. It's now transformed. We did phase one, as we said a little while ago, a couple of years ago. It brought 312 units of housing, 95 affordable units to the neighborhood. It also brought community space, parking spaces. This phase two is bringing 51 units of more housing, 100% affordable. We're making sure that we can continue to grow Chinatown the way it should be grown. We want to make sure that everyone can particularly live in Chinatown, especially our older and long-term residents who live here. And I want to thank you for your advocacy. One of the strongest advocate groups that we have in the city is our older residents in Chinatown, and they're constantly fighting to make sure that their neighborhood's preserved. So I want to thank them for that, and today is part of that. Protecting our residents from displacement is a big part of our citywide plan. Sheila Dillon's here, and we're working and investing in housing in all different income levels across the city of Boston. But it's so important for us to make sure we preserve our affordable housing, and we're going to continue to do that because we want everyone to be able to call home Boston their home. This project does exactly that. It provides more opportunity for people to call Chinatown and Boston their home. It's a great location. It's near the South Station, downtown, the Rose Kennedy Greenway, and other amenities. So this is a great place. I think none of us can afford to live here, so it's very exciting. It's good. It's good for that. It also helps keep this neighborhood a tight-knit neighborhood, and we're going to hear from elected officials in a second. And Aaron Mikowicz just showed up as well. And Aaron worked here as a legislative aide. He also worked here as a state representative now for many years, and he understands, he hears too the same calls from people wanting to preserve the community and keep this great neighborhood together. So again, I want to thank all of the partners involved, DND, HUD, the Asian CDC, the New Boston Fund, anyone I didn't mention. I want to thank you for as well, you're part of this. Today's opening shows what we can achieve when all levels of government work together. And the last thing I'll say is that we might look and say that Washington is broken, and it is broken because no one can seem to get along and work together. But here in Boston and Massachusetts, a little different. We work together, and when we work together, we get things like this project done. So again, thank you all for making this vision a reality, and I look forward to seeing Chinatown continue to be preserved and grow in special ways. So thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Walsh, for your unwavering support of Chinatown and for your commitment to creating a more equitable city where families from all over different backgrounds and economic status can thrive. Next, it's my honor to introduce the Undersecretary of Housing and Community Development, Crystal Cornegay. Crystal, I know you're cold, so.
I was going to whine about being cold. And Angie reminded me that 2 years ago we were all here standing up there cutting the ribbon. I was like, yeah, but it was in the sun. So I was telling folks on the way over, I have two kinds of days. I have good days and great days, and this was a good day. But being here cold and just reflecting on how we got here, as the mayor remarked about how it takes all levels of government, it's the team, my friends Mark and Kirk over there were integral part of making this happen. It's part of T-Land, friends in the community making this happen. Of course, Sheila Dillon and her work, the legislature, and making sure that we had the appropriate resources to get this done. This is a really important project, and it's made my day great. Although when I'm done, I'm going to stand over there next to the heat. One of the things that Sheila and I talked about this morning on the Greater Boston Housing Report Card was to really just celebrate the work that the mayor and Sheila are doing. In terms of making sure that Boston and its housing was equitable, and really tried to make sure that Boston remained a place for everybody. And we at the legislature really work on that with them and follow their lead around a great plan. And hopefully in the future we'll be working together to make sure there are more projects like 88 Hudson across the city. So thank you all and have a great day.
Thank you, Crystal. You can go stand by the heat. Thanks, Crystal, and for DHCD support for this project and pushing for more housing production across our Commonwealth. And although Secretary of Transportation Stephanie Pollack couldn't be here today, I just want to acknowledge MassDOT's contribution in this project through its long-term ground lease of this land. Next, I'd like to introduce a champion for Chinatown who has supported Parcel 24 for over a decade. Please welcome State Representative Aaron Michaelwitz.
Thank you. Thank you, Angie. Good morning, everyone. It's still morning, yep. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for all being here, and thank you for having me. This is a great day, and I know the Undersecretary said she has good days and great days, and this is certainly a great day. It's a great day for Chinatown. And the fact is that there were, Hudson Street used to be all residential before the Central Artery project of the 1950s. This was all housing, and it was a community. And obviously that changed once the artery came in. But now we're going back to having Hudson Street, continuing the growth of Hudson Street and making it a community once again on both sides of the street, not just on one side. And then people don't have to just necessarily look out into the highway. They can actually look out to their neighbor. And I think that's going to make the enhancement of the street so much better and so much more neighborly and friendly and inviting. I want to thank the mayor and for his commitment to affordable housing, not just in Chinatown, but in the entire city of Boston. He has been a champion of affordable housing since day one, since he took over, and I'm excited to be working with him for the next 4 years on building more affordable housing in downtown Boston because it's so needed. I started working on this project 13 years ago when I was an aide for, as the mayor mentioned and Angie mentioned, I was an aide for Speaker DeMacy, and ACDC came in to talk to me and introduce me to the project and try to familiarize me with the issues related to that. And affordable housing was needed back then. That's 13 years ago now, and I'm aging myself a little bit in terms of this business, but affordable housing was a necessity back then. And to have the foresight for Chinatown in particular was so forward-thinking by ACDC to try to focus on that, because now it's become even, the top issue. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the top issue back then, but it has become the top issue for Chinatown and for downtown Boston as a whole. And so I thank ACDC and all their leadership over the years. And back then it was Jeremy, Liu, Janelle has been involved, and obviously Angie. There's been a lot of leaders at ACDC that have been so easy to work with and so helpful and so persistent. And speaking of persistency, I also want to just thank the Chinatown community as a whole for their continued efforts working on this particular parcel. It hasn't been easy. We went through some downtimes in the economy that didn't make things even more challenging. But the fact is that Chinatown kept fighting, kept asking for this, kept pushing forward through this process, and today we have a great result. And I think something that's enhancing the neighborhood. neighborhood, enhancing the area as a whole. So thank you for letting me be a part of it, and thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Representative Michaelwitz. And now I'm going to welcome State Senator Joe Boncore to come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you for all the work you and the agency DC do. I want to thank everyone who's here today. This is truly a remarkable day for Chinatown. I was talking to the chairman of the board, Paul Lee. Where are you, Paul? You here? Who grew up just not too far from here and was telling me about the neighborhood he grew up in and the changes that he's seen, and telling me the changes, how it wasn't going so well for people and people were becoming displaced. But I think this building here in front of me and this building behind me are truly signs that Chinatown is heading in the right direction. I want to thank the mayor. I traverse this Commonwealth as chairman of the Housing Committee, talking to people about housing all across this state. And so few people want to build housing at all, never mind affordable housing. Our Mayor, Marty Walsh, along with his incredible staff, have made a commitment to build 52,000 units of housing. Oh, sorry, 53. Can we push it to 55? And when we talk about the development of housing, it's a great thing. But it's hard to take it to the next step and talk about housing that's affordable across this Commonwealth and housing that's affordable in the city. But this mayor, this staff, along with the governor and Crystal, are doing that work. They're making a commitment to ensure that Boston and this Commonwealth are a place for everyone to live. And as we talk about, bringing new companies to this city, and as we talk about retaining an educated workforce and people who are graduating from our highest levels of education, it's important that we have housing that's affordable. It's important from an economic standpoint growth. But beyond that, I wanted to thank Chinatown for their perseverance, as Aaron has said. So many have been displaced in this community. With the thought of Airbnb looming over us, we're further reminded. So I think this is a great statement, not only with this building in the Greenway, but this building behind me with 51 units of affordable housing. It is a great day, Crystal, for Chinatown. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator. Now I'd like to introduce Quincy Miller, President and Vice Chairman at Eastern Bank, which provided the construction loan for this project and has been a partner with ACDC, not just on creating affordable housing, but in supporting our housing counseling services and youth leadership program.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Thank you, everyone. I'm proud to be here on behalf of Eastern Bank. We've heard so many great things about the importance of affordable housing. And for us at Eastern Bank, we really look at supporting our communities in affordable housing as not only the right thing to do, but the smart thing to do. And I'm proud to say that over the years, Eastern Bank has become one of the largest community development lenders in all of Boston and the Commonwealth. And for us, it's with partnering with organizations like ACDC. Most recently, we just helped support them with one of our targeted grants to help them expand their first-time home buyer ownership classes and the ability of not only having affordable housing, but also having affordable ownership so that families can begin to change their economic outlook and their financial lives is so important to the communities where we live and work. And I'm really thankful for all the great work that the room here that is done with 88 Hudson to really bring this together. In so many ways, this is simply a tremendous public and private partnership and a shining example of the great work that we can do here in Boston and across the Commonwealth. I'd like to, once again, wish all of you great success as we continue to do this work across the city, and all the wonderful residents who will be able to move in here shortly. Just again, thank you to everyone here today, all the construction workers, the engineers, everyone who's been able to come to put this together to help really be able to change our city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Quincy. Next, I'd like to introduce Roger Herzog, the Executive Director at the Community Economic Development Assistance Corporation, or CEDAC for short. CEDAC provided critical pre-development funding for ACDC for this project, as they have on several of our other projects. They have also provided invaluable technical assistance.
Good morning. Thank you, Angie. I am going to be quick. Congratulations to our great CDC partner, Asian Community Development Corporation, its board, its great staff led by Angie, for this remarkable accomplishment. Congratulations to our funding partners, the City of Boston under Mayor Walsh's great leadership and with the great vision and work of Sheila Dillon and the Department of Neighborhood Development, DHCD, Mass Housing, and Eastern Bank. This is truly a very creative and complex undertaking. Mixed income, mixed tenure, rental and homeownership, multi-layered financing. And this phase is all affordable homeownership. That is truly incredible. Because of the tremendous need we have in Boston and across the state for affordable rental housing, we're not doing as much affordable homeownership as we would like to. But this is a great example of what we can do when the resources allow for it, and we hope to do more. This project adds another impressive chapter to the story of how CDCs can redevelop neighborhoods and benefit community residents harmed by historical land use decisions. CDAC's role, as Angie mentioned, was a pre-development lender, and we appreciate that you remember the early work we did with you in 2014 before this went into construction. I want to give a shout out to Bronya Clifton, who's CDAC's Senior Project Manager, and we look forward to continuing to work with our partner, Asian CDC. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. And now I'd like to invite our new ward counselor, Ed Flynn, to come up and just say a few words.
Thank you, Angie. I'm Ed Flynn. Just want to say thank you to the partners for working hard for many years to make this happen, city, state officials, but especially to thank the mayor of Boston for his dedicated and his compassion to make sure that Chinatown is always a neighborhood for low-income people and giving them the American dream to own a home. So we want to say thank you to the mayor for everything he's done. Thank you to all our partners, and we also want to say thank you to our state officials that are here as well, Tom Lyons with Mass Housing, and his team as well. But thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilor. I just want to acknowledge the wonderful project team that made this project a reality. So Peter Munkenbeck, who is our longtime development consultant, but he could not be here today. Our architect team from UTL, NEI Construction, of course, Matt Munkenbeck, our owner's representative, McPhail Associates, Mintz Levin, and Klein Hornig, and Maloney Properties. Last, I want to thank ACDC's board, many of whom have been involved in Parcel 24 from day one, for shepherding this project through many obstacles and their persistence in staying true to our mission of creating affordable homes and strengthening our community. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And after we do the photos, we have sample condos on Hudson Street right here for touring. So Kyle, where are you? Kyle Sullivan, our Director of Real Estate, please go see him if you would like to tour one of the units. And here in the community room, we also have hot coffee and some snacks for you to warm up. Thank you so much, everyone.
Awesome.